Kachenu, NamRA yetu, NamRA Kachenu, NamRA yetu, NamRA Kachenu, NamRA yetu, NamRA Kachenu, NamRA yetu. We are
NamRA, serving with passion.
Hello and welcome to this edition of NamRA Kachenu, where the focus is on tax, customs and excise matters. I'm Puye Ipawa Mwaitako, keeping you company for the next half an hour or so. In recent developments, individual for salaried and pensioner taxpayers urged to submit their returns. Angola Revenue Administration visits NamRA. Filing objections simplified. All that and more coming to you in a while. With the due date for tax returns fast approaching, it is crucial for all individuals, salaried and pensioner taxpayers to submit their tax returns through the ITAS portal. In this segment, the Senior Manager for Regional Operation under Domestic Taxes, Frida Moyene, explains the due dates and the importance of submitting tax returns and what to do if you have a tax debt.
Good morning, my name is Frida Moyene, Senior Manager, Regional Operations under Domestic Taxes. The tax season is here. Individual income tax returns are typically due on the 30th of June 2023. Namibia has adopted a self-assessment system. Hence, all taxpayers are required to compute their taxable income and file their tax returns by the due date on an annual basis. Individual filers consist of pensioners, employees, and self-employed individuals. The benefit of taxpayers filing their returns as well as doing their payments due can avoid fines. These fines are late payment penalties and interest levied. Another benefit for taxpayers is that they can also request good standing certificates and tax clearance at any given point of time. As the responsible taxpayers, you are hereby encouraged to make sure that you file your returns and pay your taxes on time on a yearly basis. This is a moral duty of every working taxpayer. We hereby also encourage our taxpayers to register on portal, and they can visit our website, which is itas.namra.org.na, to follow the easy steps to register as e-filer, or equally visit our regional offices to assist with portal registration and filing. The benefit of e-filers are that you can modify your demographic information such as contact details, you can view your account statements, you can request and print your tax registration certificate, you can request good standing certificate or clearance certificate. This all can happen in the comfort of your home, workstation, internet cafe, or by visiting our portal stations at our respective regions. We do have 7 regional offices and whereby our taxpayers can visit, namely Katima Molilo, Kietmans, Oshakati, Ochivarango, Rundu, Wolfish Bay and Windhoek office. Alongside, we also have got satellite offices that are in the south under Kietmansop office, which is Marinda, Oranjemont and Lutritz. Under our Oshakati office, we do have Otabi, Omithia, Enana and Opua. Under Ochivarango office, we do have Korigas and Tsumeb. Rundu office, we do have Kurianguru, and under Wolfish Bay office, we do have Swakopmund. When we come to the central regional office, which is Windhoek, we do have Kobabes as a satellite office. The taxpayers are hereby encouraged to visit the respective regional offices and the satellite offices in their domain, whereby they can inquire about the portal registration as well as the filing of their returns. NamRA's total tax arrears stands on 69 billion, and of which 53 billion will be written off, which is under the penalties and interest. We hereby invite our taxpayers to make use of the once-off opportunity and register as e-filers on the portal. File all your returns on the portal, register and partake in the amnesty program, and once fully successfully registered, pay and partake in the amnesty program to settle your outstanding capital within the months that are left, starting from June 2023 until 31st of October 2024. You will then benefit from the full waiver of 100% penalties and interest. The regional offices has embarked on country-wide tax season roadshows in the respective regions, with the aim of bringing the service closer to the people. I hereby invite our esteemed taxpayers to make use of this NamRA social platforms to get the details of this roadshow, the dates and the venues where they will be stationed in the respective regions. Lastly, let us all pay our fair portion of tax to positively impact the livelihoods of all Namibians. Thank you.
A team from the Angolan General Tax Administration visited NamRA from the 6th to the 9th of June 2023 to benchmark on taxation in the fishing sectors and the technologies involved. During their stay, they also visited several fishing companies at Walfish Bay. Let's have a look at how the visit went.
The risk of, for example, the likes of transfer pricing are quite high in an industry like fishing, because it's a commodity at the end of the day. And how are you going to know? It's even challenging for us. I mean, we are 100% Namibian owned, so we don't have an overseas partner, and this is where the transfer pricing principle. The price of, for example, €2 might be relevant this month, but it might not be next month because of a massive demand and a change in economic circumstances. The value could be €3. How are you as a revenue authority able to pick that up if it's even a challenge for us?
What they're trying to get to the pricing is, where do we get the data to see what is the price of fish that leaves Namibia? What should that price be? And that's part of our challenge. So we've looked at some databases, and the ones that we've looked at, what we're getting is that database, the information being fed is the prices that the Namibian entities are selling outside. So again, they're selling below, that is what they will feed the database, so you can't rely on it.
They need to apply 96 hours before arrival. They ask for clearance to come into Namibian water. That clearance then is shared between us and the bank, and then they also have to ask from the Ministry of Fisheries permission to come into Namibian waters, because the Ministry of Fisheries is actually also trying to control the illegal and unregulated fishing. They're also checking on the international level to see maybe that vessel is already flagged somewhere else.
Filing objections has now become simpler with the introduction of the Integrated Tax Administration System, ITAS. Here is the guidance on the process of filing objections online using ITAS.
Good day, my name is Nesla Watanawa, and I'm going to take you through the process on how you can object online on your assessment. Kindly note that objections should be lodged within 90 days of assessment. If not, a condemnation letter can be obtained from our legal department. Now here's the process on how you can successfully object to your assessment online. Step 1. Obtain your return ID to be objected under the return processing. Step 2. Click on Other Services. Then click on Objection and Appeal. Step 3. Click on Object. The objection request screen will open. Step 4. Click on the drop-down menu for the objection type and then click on Assessed Tax Due. Step 5. Capture the details of objection. Enter the return ID, The system will pre-populate the details of the assessment. On the grounds of objection, specify details for objection. Give the reasons why you are objecting. Upload supporting documents on attached container, such as the condonation letter or formal objection letter. Step 6. Click on Submit to submit your objection. You have now successfully submitted your objection for your assessment.
My colleague Nesla Watanawa was joined by Willem Janzer, Northern Operations Regional Manager, Domestic Taxes at the Namibia Revenue Agency. Join us for their conversation after a short break.
We administer tax and custom laws so efficiently and consistently. We are ethical, effective in changing lives. We are there for you. This is your revenue. NamRA, serving with passion to positively impact the livelihood of every Namibian.
We are now joined by Mr. Willem Janzer, the Regional Manager for Domestic Taxes in the Northern Region. Good day, Mr. Willem. Thank you for joining us on NamRA Kachenu.
Good day, thank you for having me.
Tell us, Mr. Janzer, how has your journey been like since joining NamRA?
A very interesting journey since joining NamRA because I used to work in the Central Region as a training officer, so I wasn't used to working in the North. And after being appointed for the past year and a half, I enjoy being here in the North and treating servicing our taxpayers here in the North.
We normally talk about the NamRA mandate as in whole. Tell us a bit of the domestic taxes mandate when it comes to specifically domestic taxes.
Yeah, our mandate basically is to collect taxes on behalf of government from domestic sources. So basically what I mean by that is, tax collections on income tax, VAT and all domestic taxes. And those money which government use basically to pay for expenditure, government expenditure. Yeah.
Speaking of paying for government expenditure and revenue collection, there was a press release that was released to the public a few weeks ago. Can you shed more light on that?
Yes, Ben. We have a problem with some taxpayers who make money, who have businesses, but they don't declare their incomes. They submit zero returns. So what we have decided is to give them a grace period. To say, okay, we'll give you up to end of June to update your taxes, to be compliant, to put it that way, up to end of June. And then if they're not, we will then follow them up. So it's for them not to come forth and say, but no, we have made mistakes, who wasn't compliant. So, but yeah, to rectify their mistakes.
What do you like about being a taxman?
Sure, very interesting. Taxation is a very interesting subject matter. Since before I joined NamRA, I was with the Ministry of Finance in revenue for more than 30 years. And during those years, I was part of that. I was a training officer, and that was very much exciting to teach people about taxation. And that's when my passion for taxation, that subject that I started.
Tell us about the compliance issue in the Northern Region. Are the taxpayers or traders compliant?
Yeah, I believe compliance is a problem all over the country. I don't only think it's in the North. But yes, there is a lot of non-compliant taxpayers in the North. But I believe it's for us to educate. I think education is the most important thing here. Because some taxpayers are not compliant because they don't want to be. It's because of not knowing what they should do. So I think from our side, it's a matter of education of taxpayers, yes.
Thank you, Mr. Janzer. There has been a recent uproar about NamRA is taking our money, NamRA is just putting the money in the pockets. Can you shed more light on where the money that we collect, that NamRA collects, goes to? What is the money used for?
Yes, it's important that the taxpayers or Namibians in general understand that this money is not ours, it's not NamRA's money. The money which we collect on behalf of government is being used for expenses, as I've said, expenses incurred by government. For example, our old age people, that pension which they receive, where does that money come from? It comes from taxation. How will government, give them social grants if we don't pay taxes? How will people at the hospitals get medicine? Because they get the medicine for free. Where will government get money from to buy that medicine to provide for the citizens? So all those money is going back into the pockets of Namibians, and people should understand that part.
Thank you very much, Mr. Janzer, for that clarity. Now, as we draw closer to the session, any last words for the viewers out there?
Yeah, lastly, I would maybe add that we spoke about the zero returns, but we also currently have a tax amnesty run, which will end at the end of November 2024. This is an opportunity not to be missed by taxpayers. Really, if you owe NamRA some money, or if you owe government money, to put it that way, and you pay it, we will waive 100% of your interest and 100% of your penalties. Opportunity not to be missed. You will never get such an opportunity again. So I will urge taxpayers outside there to make use of that opportunity.
Thank you very much, Mr. Janzer, for joining us. That was Mr. Janzer, Regional Manager for Oshakati Regional Office, Domestic Taxes. We'll see you after the break.
We administer tax and custom laws so efficiently and consistently. We are ethical, effective in changing lives. We are there for you. This is your revenue. NamRA, serving with passion to positively impact the livelihood of every Namibian.
Sarafina Shikongo, a senior tax officer at the Oshiwarongo office, talks to us about her experience since joining the agency in October 2022.
Hello everyone, my name is Sarafina Shikongo, senior tax officer for filing, processing, compliance and enforcement at North Central Region, which is Oshiwarongo. Before I came to Oshiwarongo, I was working in Katelyn Shop, domestic taxes at the Audit Department from November 2015 up until September 2022. Currently, I'm sitting in assessment. And what we do in assessment, we are issuing tax directives. The tax directive is actually an official information that is given to the employer or the fund administrator on how much tax that should be deducted from a lump sum that needs to be paid related to retrenchment, resignation, or maybe retirement. We are allocating batches, processing returns, and maintaining the high level of production in the department. We also check thoroughly and ensure that the assessments are accurate before we send the returns for filing. We are attending to objections, following the law and the provision in the Act, which is Section 71 of the Income Tax Act, number 24 of 1981, is amended. We are also attending to taxpayers' queries and make sure that the requests are finalized, and then we give feedback to the taxpayer in a timely manner. What really motivates me? I'm back motivated by one of our NamRA mandate. One of our NamRA mandate is to improve service delivery to taxpayers and promote compliance with the revenue law. And then I just thought to myself, how well can we improve our service delivery? We can improve our service delivery if we come up with innovative, significant ideas that will bring changes. And obviously I wanted to be part of the team so that I can also contribute my knowledge and skills and learn something new from my team members. Each and every day is a learning process. That is how we acquire new knowledge and skills. As much as I understand how crucial it is to collect the revenue, I believe that we have to work as a team so that we can increase and maximize our revenue collection. Two hands are better than one. If the word I becomes we, even illness becomes wellness. About my future plans, I cannot really say much about my future plans, but all I can say, I just want to be 3 times than who I am today. Sarafina tripled in terms of my growth and development. That's all I can say. The message that I have to the viewers, I just want to tell them to be unlimited and go for what they want. Knowing what you want is an achievement on its own. You should know exactly what do you want, where do you want to do it, when do you want to do it, how do you want to do it, And why exactly are you doing it? After now getting answers to all those questions, you should now put it into action. Because a dream can only become a reality if you put it into action. If you stand up confidently and do exactly what you want. If there's no planning, no strategy, it's just a wish. And unfortunately, it will not prosper. Each and every day morning when you wake up, you have to tell yourself that you are capable. You can do it. There is nothing difficult on this planet. Give it a try and your future will be proud of you. I know very well that some people may find it very difficult to activate their confidence because of fear of failure. Don't let failure hold you back. You must be able to step out of your comfort zone and do your best. Remember that there is nothing difficult on this planet. Failure is part of our journey to success. You might fail, but remember that that's not the end. Pick up yourself. Failure is necessary for our growth and development. You must use it as a learning opportunity and continue to strive for success. There are 10 actions that enable us to aggressively press forward. 10 actions. Number 1, dream, pray, choose, focus, risk, pursue, believe, invest, finish, and celebrate your success. Push yourself constantly and be consistent. Remember that your life doesn't belong to anyone else but you yourself. Thank you.
Up next are the due dates in Damaranama and Oshierero.
Kaingwas kaon. Tidake yalsi kabada sting anat tidake marin haguperos NamRA sting answers taba asisan kha. Nekwa kadege ti kaon kha. Kau kai ni han hasa mata tedi ngamipera kam kau sika onara oho matau. Hoka Tui ay maris ke monang adin nga tora casa. Saura se tui ay maris sing wang habib ke monatisis kamang aibtis ay kuri koro pera mata e. Turi be hari kuku si kari aung sing wang habib ke monatisis tara konguk habis ay kuri koro pera mata e. Mui tadi amahu matare sing wang habib ke munghan ma marikurip waptis ma marikurip wap ams kauta ramata e season ma aun dis sing wang habib season ma aun ta season aun di kagorbe hokas tabakai nga kui ay maris sing habib ke sam disease makap waptis ay ramata e tikati mataris na kan ay radi e khasibang arosa kui ay maris sing wang habib ke sam disikorong as ma sam ikap waptis ay ramata e si mataris tina kan ay radi e kaka uira hun ay rang aro e kui ay maris ke tam disease makap waptis ay ramata e si mataris na kan ay radi e nest hadage koi hangase kau narakan nedi e hanghasa maka tete karamay basen e aro sen ramaris sing on kau hasra maka ing habegu ay rama e harap pa kai basen kare kaikan kans
Ochuana majibinigwa andino ndi matutara kwa maitithiro tututo chisha murongo otututu imwe nino kwitithira po mbero zetu NamRA mo paranga wehi apeputhiri po mwitithire po yue chwatara ko tungo vire turo aitas otututu chitata ko tututo chisha murongo peno rutu roshimariva chithutwa ko shimariva chitesho muture auhe rutundu imuno tututu tatu peke rutu orutenga oro vasute ochisha murongo mbe muno shimariva shomo mwethe porwe vasute ochisha murongo mbe muno shimariva porwe be unjira ko kusha vesu kuitizo tututu ao komandiro wangarano ombura ihe rutu orusha kwa kuma tukatara orutu rubafute wajisha murongo wanathongeshefa no batuta peunjira ko gucho tutu tusokuita ko murungo mandero watheni nani umburai rutu orusha tatu orongeshefa nderi kuramina ongeshefa nderi kuramina unjira kushangisi wako nganda yatu jiyo NamRA nupe unjira ko kusha omithe hambo mbali kombundo mandero wemboro shimari adeso kuitiso tutu twatoshisha murongo Shitwatira mako murungu peno rutu robaungurise beunjira ko kusha beso kusha mwana nganda yetu injiwa NamRA abeitisa tutu twao momwethe auhe omungura uhe unjira ko uso kuhenuna washimaria kuna no shimaria ko shimaria sho ngure babatha etotaro shisha murongo atutu shimaria sho nukuitisa ruturwe ko murungo noba aiha chitu mirongo ibadi omwethe moko ngorerepo orutu orusha kwa kuma tukatara orutu rochisha murongo shishwezi wako ihepano yungurisi wano virandwa ishi chitusha VAT unjira ko kusha omundu auhepo munangeshefa murandise ngwashangisi wako ko VAT usukuitisa orutu ro VAT omawa shashito mirongo ibadi na 5 ko mundu ruwethe ndwa shangisi wa shirwa pata orutu orusenda kumarukatara orutu oshimario chisutwasho mukati kombura indi ntutusha provisional tax return vanathongeshefa no batuta peunjira ko kusha beso kuitisa tutu tuvari no kusuta mokati kombura no komandiro mbura orutu orutenga ko batuta no vanathongeshefa peunjira ko kusha komandiro akashese mbura ihe usukuitisa orutu rwe orutu orusenina no kusuta shisha murongo komandiro atengarindi ongeshefa peunjira ko kusha beso kuitisa orutu ndo omithe hambo umwe kombundo man komautiro wemboro shimariva no komandiro wemboro shimariva katuitise nuku suta oshisha murongo muruwethe turiyo wana waturi wana mirithirira ogwepa.
Many taxpayers need exemption on certain goods when entering the country. Here are the requirements for the exemptions of goods.
My name is Benedict Likando. I'm a manager for legal services at NamRA. Today I'll briefly just explain a few items, particularly concerning exemptions, which we call rebates in terms of the Customs and Excise Act, as well as the VAT Act. When it comes to exemptions, we encounter quite a lot of applications for exemptions, more specifically for returning residents. When you are a returning resident, what is required from you by NamRA is that you need to provide all the relevant documentation that show us that you are indeed a returning resident. That will entail that you need to bring your passport, an application letter. You need to show us as to where you were residing, and you also need to provide us with a complete inventory of the goods that you wish to import into Namibia. NamRA will then look at that and see as to whether you qualify for a rebate as a returning resident. Those requirements are stipulated in terms of Schedule 4 and the rebate 407. So you would need to provide us with all the requisite documents in order for us to assist you as NamRA. The other exemption or rebate that we normally encounter is that of donations. Donations in terms of rebate 405 of Schedule 4 to the Customs and Excise Act. With that also we require all the supporting documents from the bill of lading, an inventory also of the donated goods. Those goods must be unsolicited, meaning that you should not solicit the donations, should be unsolicited donations. You must also qualify for those particular donations. That will be a topic for a different day, because there's also requirements as to as far as donations are concerned and what can actually be donated. The other item that we normally encounter also is with temporary importation. Temporary importation is addressed in rebate 470 as well as 480 of Schedule 4 to the Customs and Excise Act. That also requires that you need to provide NamRA with the requisite inventory of the goods that you seek to import into Namibia. Then we also require you to provide us with an application letter providing a full factual background as to why you intend to temporarily import those goods into Namibia and for for how long are you going to import. The period is quite important. This is because goods will be exempted from customs and excise duties as well as value-added tax. So therefore, we need to satisfy ourselves that you are coming for a particular period to perform a particular purpose, and once that purpose that you have imported the goods for is completed, that you must actually export those goods. Should you opt to actually import those goods into Namibia, you are then required to complete all the customs and excise declarations in order to permanently import the goods into Namibia, and then goods will then be subjected to value-added tax, import value-added tax, as well as customs and excise duties. That is in brief, I think, the requirements as far as those exemptions are concerned. Thank you for listening.
Here is the tax trivia.
Did you know? Who can be considered a large taxpayer in Namibia? Large taxpayers are based on the threshold of an annual turnover of 75 million or more. Regardless of the turnover, all mining companies will be classified as large taxpayers. Large taxpayers contribute more revenue in terms of domestic tax collection.
NamRA, saving with passion.
Just a reminder, taxpayers should first ensure that the employers have uploaded the reconciliation on the system before submitting their returns.
As a taxpayer, you are hereby advised not to submit your annual income tax return before your employer has submitted the monthly reconciliation. Now, one of the ways how you can look at this is go to your return on the ITAS portal. In Schedule 3, when you open Schedule 3, you'll find pre-populated figures in Schedule 3. And if there's no pre-populated figures in the schedule, then you are supposed to know that your employer did not submit any reconciliation for you. And Also take note that if there are figures in Schedule 3, they need to reconcile with the figures on your Payee 5, especially the gross remuneration on your Payee 5, and that is your bottom left-hand figure on your Payee 5. That needs to reconcile with the total income field on the system. And if that reconciles, you go on further and see that your pension amount contribution also reconciled to what's on the Payee 5. Further than that, you are supposed to go look whether the payee deducted is indeed also the same, and that you look in Schedule 17 of your return. If that is reconciling, then you know that your employer has done the right thing and submitted. Then you can go ahead and submit your return. But if not, please do not submit your return. Rather liaise with your employer so that they can do the right thing and submit the recon before you can submit your annual income tax return.
Here is today's question. Which revenue authority visited NamRA for benchmarking purposes? Kindly email your answer to NamRA Kachenu at namra.org.na. The due date for submission is the 30th of June 2023. The winner will be announced in the next episode.
Before we close, here are the options on how to make payments for tax debts.
My name is Angela Kamui, Senior Revenue Treasury Officer at NamRA. I'm going to take you through the process of making payments to our NamRA offices. We have 4 modes of payments which are acceptable at our offices, which are direct deposits, cash payments, electronic fund transfers, and speed points machines. When making electronic fund transfers, we have 2 accounts available for our taxpayers, which is Receiver of Revenue, account 165001, and the VAT dedicated account 165060. When making a direct deposit, our taxpayers need to fill this deposit slip at their commercial bank. You need to have your TIN with you. The TIN consists of 8 characters, and then you should also know the period that you are making the payment for. When making an electronic fund transfer, for your penalty or interest liability due to NamRA, you use the EFT referencing example as shown on the screen. It also has 19 characters, but on the text type and text period, you put 999, indicating that the payment is account payment. When making electronic fund transfers, EFT referencing example is shown on the screen, which comprises of 19 characters. The taxpayer reference number comprises of 5 parameters, which are as follows. 1. Represent the payment method, in this case, EFT payment. 06. Office of registration or your return office. The 8th character represents your tax identification number. 14 is tax type, in this case, employee's tax. 2018-06 is the tax period for which the payment is meant for.
And that brings us to the end of this edition of NamRA Kachenu. We will be back again in 2 weeks. Until then, goodbye.
Giving fairness and equality to our nation. We appreciate the difference in ethnicity. We have